Peter and Travis here with another interview for GameSpot here at week 3 of NALCS.
Doublelift. Is this like the same old where you guys win a bunch of games at the start and then everybody's going to feel sad when you lose at the end?
What do you mean when we lose at the end? I thought I was getting like if we lose at the. Yeah, people are gonna feel sad if we lose at the end.
Okay.
All right, but I don't think so. I really don't think so because yeah, we always did like these really weird changes that like kind of worked for a little bit. So like good example is Skara. He wasn't the kind of coach we needed, and yeah, his coaching style just like really didn't work for us at all. So in the end, he was a 6th opinion. So everyone's like, "Wow, they got Skara. What a sick coach!" And it's like, roster changes are always like pretty good. It's always good to have like players who are competent at the position. And then I guess when you combine them, now we have Pobelter, who's I think he's performing pretty well and he's really solid. And Chris is really good at what he does. He brings like a really fresh perspective, and you already interviewed him, so you kind of know like he's just really different from any other person you'd ever meet in esports. Like you could tell he just doesn't come from esports because it's like a bubble where everyone thinks a certain way. And yeah, at the end, I just hope we can pull it all together because honestly, I think we have players like probably top 2, top 3 in every position. Like you can argue whatever, like semantics, but I think we have top players in each position. And we have good coaching staff. And, yeah, this is probably going to be our split. If there's ever a time for CLG to win a split, it's like this one.
Yeah. What do you think will happen when people quote that at the end of the split if you don't make it? Is that when they're like, the dream is finally dead?
Right as we're about to get 3-0'd by our B team in the relegations. Yeah. Well, that's going to be a struggle, Travis. I don't really know what to say. I'm just going to not think about it and just hope it works out and just focus on what Chris wants me to do, which is a lot of squats and working on my basketball form. Yeah. It's all on the wrist.
I mean, okay, so let's discuss that a bit because I think that the interview that I did with Chris was actually really interesting and really compelling, but consistently when I asked him, like, so what are you bringing in? Like, the idea was that he was bringing in, like, this kind of outside perspective from the sports world and all that kind of stuff. He's like, yeah, I'm making them run. I'm making them do, like, all these different kind of exercises and that kind of thing. They wake up early and they do gym stuff or whatever. But I hadn't really heard too much about what he's bringing on the sort of mental or like team attitude or atmospheric aspect. So do you feel like he's doing a lot of stuff there from the sports background?
Yeah, but it's not like what you think. It's like, oh wow, everything's like so great. I think great or like better is pretty subjective, and he definitely makes practice a lot more serious and focused, which actually probably makes it in like overall less fun, but like way more productive. Before you kind of like try to find the balance. You'd be like, ha ha ha, we're screaming against Cloud9, and then everyone would start trolling, and like you wouldn't learn anything sometimes from like 6 hours of screaming. Chris is just really good at like time efficiency and looking like I guess bigger picture, like okay, you only have this much time, and also trying to help us develop life skills. So after we're done being pro, hopefully with his guiding, I can become a linebacker. Yeah. That'll be really great.
Yeah. Do you think that you have that in your future, linebacking?
Well, Chris says I do, so I'll just trust him.
What other positions are the rest of the 4 people on your team going to switch into?
Eugene's definitely considering quarterback. Yeah. He's got the right frame for it. No, I don't know. Like he just is really good at making everyone feel good about working really hard, like being comfortable with being uncomfortable, if that makes sense. And I think it's just like something you just train through exposure. Like the more you're uncomfortable, the more like you just really have to like push yourself. The easier it is next time you have to do it. So yeah, it's good. It's just something I've like experienced, but it's not like been institutionalized for CLG.
Sounds like it's not fun times at CLG right now, but maybe very productive times.
Yeah. It's like, you know when it's time to work and you know when it's time to like play. And I think the fact that he distinguishes the two is really good for the team. Before, you never really know, like, is it time to work or is it time to play? Because living in a gaming house, nobody really understands. Like, you live with the people that you work with. You see them every day, all day for like 14 hours. So how are you supposed to tell like when is serious time, when's not? He's like really good at that, and I really like it. I don't know. I feel like we've improved a lot. Maybe it doesn't seem like it because we're playing pretty bad teams in LCS, but well, we've been improving a lot since week 1. And every few days, I'll realize like, okay, we've been really working on this thing, and we feel so much better about it.
You guys are tied with Dig and Team Liquid. I think Team Liquid looks pretty solid, what they kind of were before, but Dignitas might be the big surprise for them hanging out up at the top right now. What do you think of them, especially following their victory over TSM today?
Well, yeah, that's pretty fucking hilarious. Like, if you told me at the beginning of the split we'd be tied with Dig, I'd be like, damn, how did we lose so many games? Like, but now I was like, well, Dig is playing really well. I didn't, okay, for first week we played Dig. It was the first game. We stomped them. Like, just completely stomped them. And then, like, next, I think it was the day after, they just, like, stomped C9. And then now they're, like, winning against TSM. Oh, wait, no. It was the other way around. Right? No, I'm an idiot.
They beat TSM today.
They beat TSM today, and they beat C9 earlier. Yeah. I'm mixing everything up. But yeah, Dignitas is surprisingly good, and like we didn't really think they would be that good, especially after we beat them. I think the beginning of the split is always pretty hectic. Like it's really chaotic. C9's only win is against TSM. I think they're 1-4. And their only wins against TSM. Like I think that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So
And your only losses against TSM.
yeah, and we're tied with like Dignitas, who's like the team that we had a really easy game against. So I would just say the beginning of the split is can't really say much from it. Like, there's always these power rankings. Like, oh my god, I can't believe they got up in the power rankings. Like, who cares? Like, all that matters is the end of the split, anyways. And yeah, honestly, the regular season doesn't matter too much except for who gets the bye. And we're not really worried about like not making playoffs. So, whatever. Not much to say about the regular split other than it was surprising so far.
Now, there was a interesting thing that happened last Monday in that a bunch of players went to a player media conference thing. You guys are all tweeting about it, so obviously it's pretty public that you did that. What are those things like, and how do you feel about them?
What are they like? So yeah, it's called like the Player Summit, the Pro Player Summit. So every pro from the NA region goes, and you spend the whole day at Riot, and you attend workshops, which are basically like seminars, and also you don't just listen, you also kind of interact with the person who's teaching you. And it's mostly just to develop your skills as not inside the game, but like the aspects of being a pro outside of the game. So like communication skills, speaking skills, the way you communicate, and your tone when you're on the analyst desk or just anything. What is it like? It's pretty fun because you get to hang out in a really relaxed atmosphere with other pros, and I wish it was like more publicized because I think it'd be really funny to see like, oh damn, like it's like high school again. You're like at the lunch table. It's like recess time. You're like eating lunch. And I was like hanging with like Meteos, Wild Turtle, and Bjergsen. We were just talking shit. It's really fun. It seriously just reminds me of like going back to high school because we're all just kids and like you're attending classes. You're like matching up your sheets. Like, oh, who'd you get for like this block? It's like, oh, I got communications. It's pretty fun. And I wish there was more of it because I like it. I like the social aspect of being a pro.
Yeah. I mean, you've been to several of these now because you've been around since the start of the LCS. What do you feel like you gain a lot from them now, or what do you take away? At the end of the day, do you say like, oh, I need to work on this or something?
Yeah, I think when you go to these things, you get what you get from it, what you want to get from it. So if you just came in and you weren't really paying attention, or you thought it was a waste of time from the very beginning, you're not going to get anything out of it. But a lot of the workshops is just really good training for not just being a pro, but like your entire life. This is like kind of stuff that they would present to like businesses to try to develop like people's skills in a business. So yeah, I think about it when the time comes. I don't really do anything except for play League most days, but I'll try to think about it, and I think it's really productive, and I'm really glad Riot did it because it takes a lot of time to set up and a lot of work, so I'm just grateful.
What aspects of your communication do you think have improved since last Monday?
Well, it's pretty hard to improve from here, Travis, to be honest. I'm in that top, like I'm in that 100th percentile, like it's difficult. But I would say just understanding what kind of people, like we did this activity where you identified what kind of person somebody was, and then you want to, I guess, communicate with them in a way that they like understand stuff. So they like, are they emotional? Are they logical? Do they want like hard facts, or do they want to know how you feel first? Just, I don't know, just like ways of communicating with somebody and like identifying what kind of person someone is, so you can like get your point across better. I think that's pretty important, especially in a team setting. And it's something that, even though I've been a pro for so long, I haven't really considered, because we're all socially retarded and we don't really ever consider what other people are thinking. So stuff like that is really helpful.
What type of person am I, Doublelift?
Well, there's 4 types. This is, oh god. So there's the king, that's me. Uh, the lover, the warrior, and the wizard.
Okay.
And anyways, I'm not gonna go all into this stuff, but I would say you're a solid lover.
So you're the king and I'm the lover?
Yeah, we don't work well together.
Okay.
But I work well with the wizards.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who do I work well with?
Nobody. You work well with other lovers.
Was there anything that you would like to say at the end of this interview, Doublelift?
Yeah. Thanks to our fans, and thanks to Riot for the Pro Player Summit. And shout outs to our sponsors, Razer, Twitch, HyperX, iBuyPower, and NZXT. Boom.
Thank you for the interview, Doublelift. I really appreciate it. You can check out the rest of our coverage of all things League of Legends at gamespot.com/LOL.